It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's our favorite day. It's
Hey,
our favorite day. It's our
hey,
favorite day. It's our
hey.
favorite day. It's
Yes.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Hey guys, it's the Connected Corner. I'm your girl, Tori Rose, the Connector, and we are excited on this Tuesday. And who do I have the awesome and amazing pleasure of always co-hosting with?
Kiana B.
Hey girl. Oh, I
Bzz.
love it. I love it. How you feeling, Kate? You good?
I am like, I just feel, I have like the dumb like laugh, my cheeks.
It's not ever dumb
Life
to
is
laugh.
good.
Life
It's
is
like,
good.
life is good.
Getting better.
Yeah.
And we have
Yeah.
an amazing, awesome, special catch up today. We're getting reconnected to this amazing wonderful woman who was with us about maybe a year and a half ago. You know, with COVID, it's hard to remember exactly what
We
month.
lost a year.
We lost a year, but we want to represent to you all the amazing Lyndsaè Peele, the real deal. Welcome, Lyndsaè.
Hello, ladies. Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited.
You are so
Yes,
very
I
welcome.
like that. Lyndsaè Peele, the real deal.
Yes,
Yes. You should tagline that.
I should tag along that. I should. I'll have
You
to
should
give you your
tagline.
credits when that happens.
Right. But like Tori said, we are just excited to just reconnect with you. Just all the wonderful things, we've kind of seen, social media lets you take peeks of things here and there, but we really just wanted to bring back and have that conversation. We know you as like this great financial resource and guru, so we know there's been some, changes, but how have you been?
I have been amazing, like truly amazing. I honestly, this is probably the best space I've been in as an adult. And that's hard to say, right? That's really, really hard to say. But I am doing amazing. God is good. He's continuously blessing me and my family. I honestly have no complaints at all.
And we just feel it, like the energy, it's virtual, but when it's real, when you can feel it through the virtual
Absolutely.
world. And so we are
Absolutely.
just excited, for you and what's happening. A lot of times we go like, who do we connect to? What's next? What do we do? And so we're thankful that, we get the ideas and God download, no, this person, that person, and then to talk to you and realize all of these great things. So, business booming, changing. What are some of the specific like products or services that you offer now? Because we know you were with the banking system here. And so talk about what services or things that you are doing now.
Yes, so a lot of great things have happened over the last couple of months. I have been building my baby, which ultimately it's a kingdom project. God said, this is what I need you to do. This is how I need you to do it. And I started creating. I transitioned out of corporate last October, yes, in the middle of a pandemic, and started building my baby instantly. Kingdom Vision Consulting, we are a financial services firm that specializes in personal and small business financial capacity building. Ultimately, we engage entrepreneurs of color in courageous conversations to really educate, empower, and employ financial strategies to create generational wealth. We do this through our one-on-one consultations, our master classes, group coaching programs, as well as our educational seminars. Within our business, we focus on 5 key areas of finance with all of our entrepreneurs, known as CLASS. So that's credit worthiness, long-term wealth, asset protection, strategic banking relationships, and strategic asset accumulation.
I'm speechless. Look, a whole master's in accounting and management, and I'm like, what?
This is definitely
awesome.
it's all God. This was not something I had planned. This was not something that I had been waiting for. Nope, this was literally all him. Like, this is what I need. This is what I need you to focus on. And this is the community that I need you to specifically focus on.
And I'm going to actually challenge you to say it again a little slower.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
For anyone who's listening, who's watching us on YouTube, Facebook, first of all, we want you to subscribe so you don't miss out on these gems and jewels. Make sure you are clicking like and love on the connected corner and staying in the network. But Lyndsaè is going to say it again because I know how crafty the enemy gets. Someone watching this needs what you offer, but they heard big words and they got intimidated. So I'm going to ask you again to tell us what the acronym CLASS stands for, and then tell us again that specific group of individuals that God has ordained and appointed you to help through their journey.
Yes, ma'am. So within Kingdom Vision Consulting, we specifically work with entrepreneurs of color. And we do this by focusing on 5 key areas of finance known as CLASS: credit worthiness, long-term wealth, asset protection, strategic banking relationships, and strategic asset accumulation.
How do I sign up? That'll be a separate conversation.
So in short, we make sure as entrepreneurs of color, you have your credit right, you are planning for retirement, you have proper insurances, you are considering estate planning. We make sure that you have a business banker, you understand the products and services that your bank offers, as well as encouraging you to increase your asset column, right? To make sure that we have a net worth that is sustainable enough to help us grow our businesses.
Wow, that is awesome. And I will say, being in the business industry for as long as I have, I don't know of any specific company that deals directly with what you're doing. And so we have a friend down in Bowie who has a art gallery. And so we had her speak at our event a couple years ago where she talked about credit business. So building your credit and like credit line and getting credit as a business, but to actually have like that education. And, she has a book, but listening to exactly what you are doing is the industry that Tori and I were helping individuals do those things. So making sure they are covered, with insurance and all of that, but people understanding that same way that you protect your personal home, you protect your business as well in those same ways. So whatever you want to do for your family, you want to do those things for your business. And so that is awesome to, really kind of focus on those things because it is so needed. It is so needed. Wow, that is amazing. And so with that changing, like, of course, spending so many years in the banking industry and now that birthing from that knowledge and education and all those years and specifically dealing with Black entrepreneurs, right? What are some of the things that's changed over the last year? So this started in October, like how different and how much change has happened from what you were doing before to now you're walking in that purpose of your own business?
So the biggest change, honestly, was within myself, was within my mindset, how I thought about the work that I did, how I thought about my clients, my potential clients, and really what I wanted to do. If you knew me while I was in the banking industry, you knew that I was different. I was talking to an executive director of a chamber of commerce that I'm affiliated with, and he told me, he was like, "You're not your average business banker. Business bankers are typically very salesy, right? They want to make sure that they can bring your business over to their particular banking institution. They want you to have all of the products and services, but a lot of times they don't offer that education to go along with it. And they also don't necessarily connect the dots between why you need certain things within your business, as well as why you need certain things within your personal finance." So really being able to experience COVID and to experience COVID as a woman of color in Baltimore City, working for a financial institution was difficult, especially seeing the amount of Black businesses that I saw closing every day. The amount of businesses that I saw unable to gain access to capital, not just the, EIDL and PPP because they didn't necessarily have paperwork. And we know how that gambit goes, but just in addition to just not being prepared. So as I really talked to God and as I really thought, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing right now? He clearly clearly downloaded exactly what I needed to do, from the name of the company, from who I needed to work with, and those 5 key areas that I specifically needed to focus on. There are a lot of financial advisors, consultants, coaches, etc., and they focus on a number of things, but it was specifically a reason that I needed to focus on 5 key areas, especially within our communities, because one, we are not educated about our credit. Two, most of us don't have sustainable retirement where we can actually retire for real before the age of 70 and not have to go back to work. Most of us don't even understand what it looks like to protect your assets from having proper insurance policies. And listen, where I come from, having enough insurance was just meant that you could bury someone, right? You might have a few dollars left over, but that was it. No, you have a lot of communities who are taking advantage of proper life insurance policies to leave generational wealth for their families. And I think it's important for our communities to learn more about that, even within the asset protection realm, talking about estate planning, right? So a lot of families, especially families who look like us, don't have a will. They don't even know what a trust is, how it can be used to help protect their assets. And then going down to strategic banking relationships. That was the key for me, because when COVID first happened and the PPP loans first dropped, if you did not have a business banking relationship, and if you did not have a business banker, you did not gain access to that funding, nor did you gain access to the information, because a lot of information was ever changing, literally day by day, sometimes hour by hour. And if you did not have that direct connection with your institution, then you didn't have someone providing you this continuous changing information that our businesses desperately needed at the time. That really gave me my push, honestly, and what I decided to do. And within these last couple of months, the biggest change was me, how I approach the work that I do, and really figuring out what my community needs, because that's the most important thing. Service.
Sir, that is awesome. I see Tori's like, whoo, on my street, around my corner, knocking on my door. Yeah. All of that. Yeah. And it's so, again, in the business that we're doing, consulting, helping businesses, myself with some of my clients who, are entrepreneurs as well, to see people know they have legitimate businesses and they're out here and afraid, to go, or, being told they don't have this, but you've been in operation for 10 years and, all of these things. So when you're talking about that, it definitely hits, because, I got the phone calls, we got phone calls from those people and businesses we've helped. And I'm saying, well, geez, this, what else do you need? And so we know firsthand how the doors were closed and the extra things that businesses of color were being asked to do, for those relief funds for their businesses. And it was just completely unfair practices. People we know who funds are still being held by the bank. And so the loan was approved, went through, but the bank decided they was not going to release the funds to that person. So, again, like you said, just walking in that purpose, knowing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And, some of the things you already touched on, with COVID and, the challenges during the pandemic, you turned that challenge around, to see what was happening for people and say, I'm going to do something to help. And so just being one of those people who birthed something out of COVID, out of the pandemic, because a need was exposed. So that is completely awesome. That is awesome that you did that. So, wow.
I know. Speechless. So we, as you were talking, I know Kiana brought up our sister Jackie Thompson, who has The Power of Business Credit. That's her book. She does own the Overdue Art Gallery in Bowie, and it's amazing because she's probably one of the few Black business owners, few Black art galleries in Maryland, but few Black business owners in Bowie Town Center. And so we're going to make that connection for you.
Please, that would be amazing.
And also to shout out Portia Wood, who is a good girlfriend and Western graduate, who she and her family, her sister and her mother, started a law firm in California that focuses on helping Black and brown people protect their assets and trusts and wills. And so as you're talking, our connecting wheels are moving, saying, wait, we want to give you additional reinforcement, give them some reinforcement, but continue to build this network, because this is how change actually happens, right? And we don't want you to get burned out. And so I just kind of ask you that question, like, how do you deal with, some days maybe feeling burned out or unmotivated? Anyone who's listening is like, oh, she's amazing. People put you on a pedestal, but they forget, like, we deal with the same thing. So how do you deal with burnout or feeling unmotivated?
So over the last couple of months, especially being in a position where I am home, I'm working from home, and I'm creating a brand new life for my family, to be honest with you, I started focusing on different priorities, and that was learning how to take care of me. I became a huge self-care advocate because working in the bank, I was everywhere, especially specifically because I was community centered. So I was at all of the networking events. Like, I needed to be out there sharing this information, from webinars, literally all over the place. And I forgot me, I was the one getting the short end of the stick. I forgot my family. I was never home, and I had to have those hard conversations. So it's truly been a journey of self, right? I had to start focusing on myself mentally. How am I mentally doing? From talking to different support groups. I'm a member of the Women Entrepreneur Leadership Lab, making sure that I have my community there to pour into me. Also tapping into different friends and those who can support you, because there are some friends that you do most of the supporting, right? So a lot of times you're continuously pouring into them and you don't always receive the things back that you need. But I had to channel in a different set of friends, right? A different set of business partners who knew what I was going through, who could understand me, and who could just pour into me, but not just pouring into me, but creating that reciprocal relationship. And I even do that consistently now. Me and one of my good girlfriends, we meet every week as a check-in, talking about business development, but also, how are you doing, right? What's really going on within you? Because ultimately, listen, as an entrepreneur, you got to take care of yourself, because you take care of your family, your business, your employees, if you have them. You take care of the community, the clients that you serve. It was so important for me to learn how to take care of Lyndsaè. That's mentally, spiritually, definitely spiritually. God has gotten me through. Literally, I am smiling, I am glowing because of God, and just the transition in my spiritual relationship, and just being intentional about spending time with Him, to stop asking for certain things and really just spend time getting to know more of Him, and really just being intentional about serving Him in everything that I do, whether in my relationship, in my business, in my community organizations. How can I serve you? How can I do more for you? How can I show you that I am appreciative of all that you've given me and what you continue to do for me? So definitely spiritually, but just focusing on even my physical health. I'm starting to work out more, taking care of my body, trying to eat better, making sure that my finances are intact, literally the whole gambit. Like, I had to take a pause on everybody else. So I went ghost for a little while I was building the business. I had to take a few months completely off, but I had to take care of Lyndsaè so that I can be empowered to do the work that I do, because let's be honest, it can get a bit draining, right? Entrepreneurship in general is draining, especially for me as a solopreneur. But when you're thinking about the type of work that you do, especially as a service provider, it is exhausting. I'm almost like a financial therapist, right? I listen to my clients, all of their issues, right? Where they come from, their financial habits, their financial mindset. I literally tap into everything financially when it comes to my clients. And that takes me being full enough to show up to pour into them. So I had to take care of me, y'all.
Come on now. I hope y'all are listening. Lyndsaè said, I need my cup full.
Yes.
I can pull out. She's not pouring out from a 3/4 cup or from a half cup. I feel like you should just change your name to your dollar sign Cash App handle, because we all need to be. We're on the couch of Lyndsaè right now.
I love
goodness. Woo. I mean,
right.
She's stomping on my toes. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
And I said, when I go ghost, I'm going to put Lyndsaè.
Lyndsaè.
I needed to go ghost. So I'm going to put this disclaimer up. I'm gone for a while, yo.
She said, get
That's
your
right.
aspirin and this aspirin and get yourself together. Okay. Yes, we'll keep it holy and we're gonna
I
holy
love
and
it.
ghosts
Yes.
and take some time. And that is extremely important. I mean,
Yes.
I know, I thought I was just really depressed and all of this, and I was extremely burnt out after the campaign. Everybody around me was just like, is she gonna be okay? Feeling guilty to even rest, feeling guilty to not want to get sick with the from the pandemic, from COVID, all of those different things. And people don't realize that your body will stop showing up for you. The adrenaline, that fight or flight, you will lose all of it. Kiana and I talked about the other day where I used to could stay up late and just get it done. Oh, I got to get this proposal done. Now I'm just up late. My body will not allow me to go into, that response or rescue mode. There's nothing left, Tori. Go to sleep, And so for anyone who's listening, please make sure you guys are subscribing to our channel. You don't want to miss it. Before we close out tonight, we're going to tell you how to get connected to Lyndsaè, how to become her client, how to support her movement. I mean, this is huge. So for anyone who would be interested in pursuing a career like yours, what advice would you give them?
Understand your purpose. What is your why? When it comes to the financial industry in general, there are so many resources, so many companies, but everybody don't necessarily operate with the right intentions. Let's just be honest, right? Even when I was in the bank, all bankers, managers, whomever, whatever positions they hold within the financial institution, everybody don't operate from the right space. Some people are really here just for a check. Some people are here just because for their own, personal endeavors that sometimes has nothing to do with the client, right? And for me, I have always been community centric, but when you really step out there to create your own business that you are the head of, you are the brand of, your business is centered around you, you got to be mindful, right? And you have to be centered. You have to understand, why am I doing this? What purpose am I going to serve? Who am I serving? Why do I want to serve them? Do I have the grit to do the work necessary to serve this population? Listen, for me, I know that the road ahead is not going to always be peaches and cream. Totally fine with that. However, it's worth it because of my why, because of my purpose. A lot of people, if you don't know me, you don't know that my passion for assisting small business owners came from my parents. I'm a second generation entrepreneur, but without my parents creating their business when they did, I literally would not be here. My parents had me after the age of 40. Things were not necessarily in alignment for them as they would have preferred. So my father went and learned a skill. He became a plumber. My mom learned how to run a business, and they've been in business together for over 20 years. And that business literally created a legacy for me. I literally grew up on the back of a small business. Without that business, I would not have been in position to go to my dream school without having any issues. Parents said, this is where you want to go. You want to go to Howard? Okay, cool. It's a private institution. Yes, tuition is high. However, because they built that business in such a way to really take care and to secure the financial foundation of our family, I was able to be a living testimony, literally a living testimony for what it looks like to invest in yourself, invest in your family, and invest in your business. But it has to start from you understanding why you're doing this. My parents' why was literally to take care of a little girl that they just had at 42 years old. I was their why. And look at us now.
And I'm just going to add, for somebody's going to say, my kids are just not my why. They just aren't. And I don't know. And I feel guilty. Let that go as well.
It's okay.
Because I'm going to tell you, I am that person. My son was never my why, ever. And when people say that, think about your son. You have to understand, I was 30 years old, had already crossed the 6-figure mark and all of these things that, the world says makes you successful. So he was going to be fine. If I had died at 30, he would have had, $1 million plus left to him and all of these things. He was not the why, but his vision became my why. If I don't do this, my son, my Sagittarius son, will never have an example of what it looks like living life to the limits and going beyond and having faith and all. So it wasn't him per se. It was understanding that he might live on my couch at 49 because he may not have vision, because he didn't have the example of entrepreneurship around him, which means that his children may not get the best version of a dad. So it was a little different for me. It was like, he good. This kid's wearing Gucci, like he's not hurting. And so for anyone who is watching or listening, if your children, your parents are not your direct why, that is okay. I know a young lady whose dog was killed, and she literally started, she's on Amazon. She has it's like a collar that beeps and it's connected to your cell phone. Her why was so that no one would ever feel the pain of losing a dog and the dog being hit and killed. And that was her why. And so I'm just going to say to anybody who's listening, we are super deep sometimes because that's who we are, but your why can be something so different than someone else's. Just make sure it's your why or it's never going to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And the thing is that for all of you guys, all of you men, women, whoever you're listening, everybody's journey is different and you have to embrace different, because sometimes different don't fit within that ordinary box that society tries to force you in. It's okay to do your own thing, to create your own rules. I promise you, sometimes it works out a little bit better for you.
Absolutely. And you have definitely done it. I mean, I say all the time, like Tori said, well, I'm the person that like see the connections of things. And so when you're talking about like your purpose and what you're doing, there is so much, I always say there's so much money to be made. Like money, I don't say for some people it is the focus, but anybody, that I'm coaching, any clients that I have, anybody saying, hey, I want to start a business, I want to do this, even my own, immediately I'm saying, take money off the table. If your focus is money, your business will not be successful. You'll literally be a hamster spinning your wheels because money is there. It's to be made. It's fluid. It goes out, it comes in, right? And so it has to be, like you said, that why, and understanding like you can create your own lane, like get creative, get innovative. Some people say, well, don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, well, add something to the wheel, change the sparks on the wheel, color it different, whatever you need to do to make it your own, because there is just so much out here. There's so much out here that can be done. I've heard all kind of weird businesses and skills and stuff that I'm like, that's a thing. You get paid. People pay you for that. Like, it's just, you got to open up your mind and open up your world to just new things and new ideas, which it seems you have definitely done. You have definitely done. And we are just so, proud of you and just watching the growth and seeing it. We had our little pre-show and all of that. And so just talking and just feeling that energy and how good things are going for you. We are so happy for you. One of the things, you talked about the advice and things like that. Like what is, I guess, the best or the best resources that have really helped you, along this way? We know, the spiritual journey and those things and self-care. But like one, good resource for our audience, you can say that's really helped you along this path, this journey.
The biggest resource, it may sound cliche, but for me, it was community. I know where to find the resources, how to build a business, how to create a business plan, financials. I know where to find all that. For me, it was, I need help. I need just mental and emotional support as I'm, one, creating something that I've never done before, but also two, I'm creating something that's much bigger than myself. And I knew that from the very beginning. I needed community. That was for me. So I joined, a women's entrepreneurship organization that specifically works with Black women entrepreneurs, providing that community, that collaboration, right? And also that confidence. And it truly helped me, one, not only to perfect what we call the elevator pitch, right? But it also helped me to feel comfortable in my challenges, right? Sometimes it's very uncomfortable to be honest about what you're struggling with. When you have that community, that makes you feel comfortable, it makes a difference. It allows you to assess those challenges in a very different way and to approach them with solutions versus just looking at it as an issue. So the biggest thing for me, honestly, was community. I charge everyone listening to find your own tribe.
Wow, that is awesome. And it resonates. I think we hear that is a, resonating thing when people talk about resources. They say it differently. Some people say people, relationship building. I honestly today, earlier, just one of my colleagues, we talked about relationship building and how important that is. And so that's great to hear that for those people who think, well, I can make it alone. I don't like people. I don't want to be around people. I don't need help. And all of those things, like we hear that everybody that comes on the Connected Corner, the people we connected to reconnect with, we hear that over and over again: relationships, community, people. And so we understand that that is a big part of success. So we thank you so much for
Yes,
joining
thank you for
us. This has
having
been
me.
Listen,
great
I
to
couldn't even
reconnect.
fake it. I was over here writing notes. They could be like, what was she doing? Taking notes, growing, learning
Yeah.
from my tribe, gleaning
That's
from
right. That's
oh my
right.
God. And because, as the connector, I too get frustrated with the way things are. I get burnt out. I get people fatigue, but I thank God that he's given me this charge. This is who I am. My son said, we can't even go to the supermarket without making a connection. We can't. I'm going to be in the cemetery. Y'all, when the lights go out, the music is going to come on and it's going to be me connected in the spirit, And so I'm recharged by you. I thank you. We both thank you for just coming on our show. Thank you for getting reconnected. My name is Tori Rose. You can connect with me on any of the social media platforms as Tori Rose or Tori Rose the Connector. Lyndsaè, how can our guests, our viewers, our watchers, how can they connect to you?
Yes, yes, yes. So you can start by connecting with me on Instagram at Peele the Real Deal. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn by my name, Lyndsaè Peele. You can also follow the business at Kingdom Vision Consult on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
And
Kingdom
Kiana,
Vision.
how can we find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms as Kiana B. Jones, and you can find us, The Connected Corner, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube now, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we go live. And if you're on Facebook, hop over to YouTube now and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we have news and resources you can actually use, and awesome guests like Lyndsaè, who has given us so many different nuggets. So if you're catching it in, go back, replay it, watch it over and over again, okay? And learn about those 5 key financial areas that Lyndsaè can help you with. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Lyndsaè, for being here.
Have a great
one.
Thank
yes.
you.
Good night, guys.
Good night.